Life Audio.
Welcome to the Crosswalk Devotional. We're glad to have you listening with us. Today's topic is how food from the Father is the sustenance that our souls are really craving. We'll return with the devotional after a brief message from our sponsors. Food of the Father, written and read by Deidre Braley. John chapter 4, verses 31 through 34. Meanwhile, his disciples urged him, "Rabbi, eat something." But he said to them, "I have food to eat that you know nothing about." Then his disciples said to each other, "Could someone have brought him food?" "My food," said Jesus, "is to do the will of him who sent me, and to finish his work." On the day Jesus met the Samaritan woman by the well, his disciples eventually caught up with him and, right in the middle of his salvation business, they told him to stop and eat. Meanwhile, John 4:31 says, his disciples urged him, "Rabbi, eat something." They're like Italian nonnas here saying, "Eat, eat, I tell you." They're being practical, of course. They want to make sure Jesus' needs are met. He's likely done a lot of walking in the hot sun, and it could have been a long time since he's last eaten. Like so many of us would, they're thinking with their stomachs. But I have always found Jesus' response fascinating. He didn't take their bread or grab a handful of grapes. Rather, he said to them, "I have food to eat that you know nothing about." John chapter 4, verse 32. The disciples were confused. Where could it have come from? They all looked at each other, asking, "Could someone have brought him food?" John 4:33. What and who could be feeding Jesus? As it turns out, the food Jesus was talking about wasn't fish or figs or anything else of that nature. "My food," said Jesus, "is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work." John 4:34. Scripture doesn't tell us how the disciples responded, but I imagine them standing mid-bite with their jaws open, probably with crumbs stuck in their beard. A revolutionary thought, yes? That something so spiritual as obeying God's will could satisfy a need so physical within Jesus' body? The disciples mistakenly believed that the food Jesus needed was the stuff of this earth, when really he was seeking the sustenance of heaven, the food from the Father. How often do we have the same misunderstanding about what we need most? When we experience deep cravings within ourselves, or a hunger we cannot place, we have a habit of turning to the stuff of the world. Chocolate cake, Instagram, overachieving at work, or marathon sessions of our favorite TV shows. But afterward, once the sugar high has passed, the promotion has come, or the social media post stops getting likes, that craving is still there, insistent as ever. As C.S. Lewis famously said, if we find ourselves with a desire that nothing in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that we were made for another world. Indeed. While it's true that our bodies need fuel, this shared human hunger goes far beyond the necessity of food. It's a void that can only be satisfied by being in touch with and obedient to the Father. Intersecting faith and life. We try to satisfy the cravings we feel in so many ways, like food, social media, overachievement, and television. But being attuned to and in step with the Father is often the true sustenance our bodies, brains, and souls are starving for. Today, take notice of your cravings. whether it's the desire to go on social media, overindulge, overwork, or something else altogether. Ask yourself, what prompted this craving? What is at the heart of this craving? How will my body, brain, soul feel after I indulge this craving? Now pause and pray. Ask God, is this craving actually pointing me to a need I have in you? What do you want me to know today, God? What do you want me to do today? Will you please show me how to satisfy this desire in a way that is holy and pleasing to you? For further reading, check out Psalm 37:4 and Matthew 6:25 through 34.
The Crosswalk Devotional is a production of Life Audio and Salem Media. If you liked what you heard today, please take a second to rate and review this podcast in your favorite podcast app so that more listeners like you can find the show. For more faith-filled, inspirational podcasts, visit us at lifeaudio.com.